Well, hey friends, this is Jennifer, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, the podcast for women who want to find freedom in both their life and in their business. I own a multi-7-figure-a-year coaching business. I'm also a certified life coach. So I have the honor of helping thousands of women every single month make money in the online space and help them to get unstuck from whatever is holding them back, all without sacrificing their faith or their family. In this show, you're going to get the very best life and business advice, always with a healthy dose of Jesus. So buckle in, my friend. I'm so excited that you are here. Well, hey friends, it's Jennifer. Welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast episode number 296, and we're going to do something totally different today. You know, we're just trying to keep things hot and spicy over here at Team Allwood. We're switching it up a little bit, switching it up. So I recently hosted a masterclass. It was like 3 days long of 5 ways that you could stay on top or come out on top during a recession. We talked about, being a business owner when things like interest rates are going up and inflation is going up and the world, kind of feels like an iffy place some days. And I think that the whole topic was such a blessing to so many people that I decided to take a small portion of that training and make it into a podcast episode for you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to let you guys listen now. I think you're going to love this content, and I'll chat with you again after. I want to help you guys today. So I want you to grab a pen and a paper. You're in the right place. I've got 5 ways that you can still come out on top, whether we're in a recession, whether the economy is up and down, whether we have inflation or what have you. So 5 things. Grab a pen, grab a paper, and we're going to start. Okay. So, and I've got a little slideshow here that Team Allwood has made for me because they are amazing. And so I'm going to try to do my best to use the slideshows because they worked hard on this. Okay. So number 1, I want you to make sure that inside of your business right now, you have products that are at varying price points. All right. So some of you have had the same thing for sale for a long, hot minute, and it's at a low price point. And if you don't have anything that's got a couple zeros behind it as a price point, you need to get that. So I don't care if that means you're in a clothing boutique and you sell, mostly clothing that's, on the very economical end. Okay, we'll start putting some outfits together and bundle them together and get a higher ticket price. You can't have everything at the same price. And then when the economy starts doing some wonky stuff, and you're like, you're not wanting things to go down, but the way that you make more money faster is with a higher price ticket item. It just is. And I know that sounds like super obvious, right? It sounds like Captain Obvious, but some of you have had your same ticket prices forever. If you are in the online space, anybody here sell a course, sell a membership site, do one-on-one consulting, and you've had your rates the same. You've been charging $100 an hour for your consulting for the last 3 years. Bump that up, double that stinker. You've got to have some high ticket offers in addition to your low ticket offers. Okay. If you don't, have anything bundled, I want you to get something bundled. Back in the day when I was selling DIY painting videos, every Black Friday, I would bundle videos together. So I would sell 3 for the price of 2. I was talking yesterday about how our boys do a lot of thrifting, and they follow some people that bundle a lot of thrifted shirts and things like that into just surprise grab bags. It's just a bundle of things. It's a way to get rid of product, but also it's just to get a higher price point. If somebody, normally spends an average of $50 with you, but you can somehow bundle something together. So it's a course, but they get this freebie, and it's actually free because you're bumping the price up. If you increase some things and have varying price points, that's one way to really bring some stability to your business because you're just going to get some more sales. And you can do this, by the way, even if you have luxury high-end customers, you can still offer varying price points. Okay. So that's number 1. Some of you need to just, you need to adjust some price points, and you need to put some more things for sale other than what you already have, especially if you're doing things like courses, membership sites, etc. You need to figure out a way that you can bump up what people are spending by having some high ticket items in addition to your low ticket items. Can I give you a formula real quick? Let me give you a formula real quick. And I should, Mac, on Team Allwood, if you would make sure you add these things to my notes for me, because this is going to be so good and so juicy for them. I want to make sure I remember it later. But there is an old rule that still applies today for the online marketing space. Okay. I'm going to give you this rule. Perry Marshall is the one that he has a book on this, but essentially here's what he says. If you have something for sale online, and let's just say for easy math, it's $100, okay? You can basically assume that 25% of your people will pay 4 times more. So let's say you have 100 people in $100 a month program or whatever. I'm probably using bad math. 25% of those people, so 25 of them, will spend 4 times more, which is $400. So you can do a quarter of your people will spend 4 times more than your highest ticket item right now. Somebody needs to remember that today. It's like a marketing formula law for all of you guys that love math and things. So get some high ticket items. Okay. All right. That's one thing. We're going to go to point number 2, which is I want to make sure that you guys are shifting with the trends. All right. Listen, the online space has totally changed in the last 2 years. The online space has completely changed. Blah, 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 blah. Words are hard. That just was a lot of words jumbled together. All right. So I'm going to need you to really think about like what's working in marketing right now and what is not. And I have been in this online space for like 10 years. Okay. It's like 10 years I've been here. And so here's some changes that we have really seen that I want you to just like make sure you just are thinking about these when you're looking at what you're offering. Okay. Right now, people are still spending money, but they are really dialed into like value. They really want a quick win. They want a cheat sheet. They want a way that they can get from place A to place B way quicker. They're still spending money. See, the thing is, sometimes we get kind of like tunnel vision and we think that just because things have become, sales are harder for us or we're worried about our checking account or whatever, then we start to almost like impose that on our clients. And we think, well, because I'm struggling, everybody's struggling. And that's just not true. Okay. That's just not true. People are still spending money left and right. People are still buying homes, even at this interest rate. We're buying one right now. People are still out shopping, even with the economy. People spending money online is still well up. Okay. And so I want you to know that people are still spending. They just need to have a few additional things, kind of dialed in tight for them, or you just need to talk about these things more. Okay. So like for one, people want a really great return policy right now. And one of the examples that I've been using is I am an online shopper. Where are my online shoppers at? I had a couple people DM me today. Where did you get that cute shirt? I'm like, I don't know. It's old and I bought it online. Like I buy so much online. Tell me in the comments if you're an online shopper. And so there's several boutiques that I order from, but I figured something out in the last couple of years. There's a couple of boutiques that I've been buying from that they don't take returns. They just give me store credit. I don't love store credit. Anyone else? And I'm going to tell you why I don't love store credit, because I know full good and well that I'm going to forget that I have the store credit. I'm going to forget to even use it. And so basically I paid for clothes and I didn't keep them. I sent them back the clothes. So they got my money and I got my clothes. And so it makes me so mad. And so here's what I want you to know. Now I don't like ordering from those boutiques that I used to because they don't have a good return policy. So think about that, whether you have a product or whether you have a course or something else. You need to have a decent return policy. You need to have a money back guarantee. People right now, if you're selling courses, if you're selling memberships, they want bonuses. They want to feel like they're getting a ton for the money that they're putting out. And the truth of the matter is, if you're doing courses and you're doing membership sites, some of the leaders in our industry, the people that are, having the $10 million launches every time they launch, they are adding so many bonuses that to me, it feels almost like too much. But the truth is that the marketing shows this is what people want. So if you've recently launched a course and you didn't have the type of results that you wanted, you might consider the next time you launch it, add some bonuses to it. Okay. Because things have shifted. Trends have shifted. All right. If you have not changed how you're packaging things, and I'm not talking about your boxes, but I'm talking about the way that you present things, the angle that you're coming from. How you put together, your course. If it's still exactly the same as what it was 5 years ago, you need to look at shifting that, because things that were working even 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, for most of us are no longer working the same. Things change and you need to be willing to change right along with it. Okay. All right. Number 3. So number 1, let's go back to that, was have products in varying price points. Number 2 is for you to shift with the trends. Number 3, I will show you my cute little slide. You need some ways to increase your current income. Okay. I want to talk about this real quickly. There's a couple things that I want you to do to increase your current income. One, and this is going to seem counterintuitive, but I want you to stop trying to sell the things that are no longer serving you. Some of you are selling online groups. You're selling products. You're selling things that you really don't want to sell anymore. But you're thinking to yourself, but at least it's a little bit of money. Who's thinking that? Who's thinking right now, at least it's a little bit of money? Okay. We're going to stop thinking at least it's a little bit of money. Okay. Because when you continue to sow things that are no longer serving you, you don't want to fulfill it. You don't want to ship it. You hate it yourself. You feel all, antsy on the inside. It literally drains emotional energy from you to continue selling things that you don't want to. And it's out of integrity. It just is. And how can you expect anybody to get excited about the thing that no longer excites you? So figure out how you can either release what's no longer serving you or how you can tweak that membership site so that it feels good again. How can you change that course and the way that you deliver it so that you get excited? How can you do some live Q&As with it just to kind of get you back into like remembering, why you do what you do so that you can get excited again? Okay. So we're going to release some of the things that no longer serve us. And then I want you to really look at the things that have worked and double down on those. Listen, where are my creatives at? My super creative people, my people here that they love to make. Where are my makers at? My DIYers, my decorators, my designers, my makers of any kinds. Okay. Luann's here. Lisa's here. Joanna's here. Fabulous. Okay. How many of you get bored? Let me just flat out ask you, how many of you are almost bored right now with what you're doing? Bored, says Courtney. See, I knew it. I know. Listen, here's there's a couple of reasons people get really bored, and you can call it boredom. You can call it burnout. You can call it whatever you want. I did a podcast episode on this once. Tracy, if you have the ability to grab that podcast episode on burnout and why burnout can actually be a good thing, if you wouldn't mind slipping that into the chat for these guys, just take a screenshot of the chat and you'll see it later. Okay. But, boredom and burnout is not actually a bad thing. A lot of times it is God's way of shifting you and pivoting you into something that you actually should be doing. See, if I hadn't got burned out on my painting business, I could still be doing that and not coaching right now. If I hadn't gotten to where I was like bored with talking about the same paint colors over and over and over, of doing the same paint finishes for people over and over, like if I hadn't got to that point, well, then would I have ever had that holy discontentment? It's not that you're, discontent in a bad way. It's just like you're antsy almost. You're like, something needs to change. Something needs to shift. We often will shift or pivot out of boredom and out of burnout. So if you're bored, let me ask you this. Do you need to raise your rates? Because one of the reasons people get bored is because they're giving more than they're getting. And it makes you start to have a little level of bitterness that you actually think is boredom and burnout, but it's actually bitterness. Some of you need to raise your rates. You've got your pissy pants on the inside and you're calling it boredom and you're calling it burnout, but it's actually that your rates need to go up. And I can remember when I owned my painting company and I would underprice myself on things. And man, I would get sideways on the inside because I would always blame me. I would never blame my client, but I'd be like, dang it. I'm so annoyed at myself right now. I know I need to raise my prices and I'm just too scared to do it. And this was like the internal rub that I would have all the time of like, how do I increase my rates so that I'm not like mad at myself while I'm here at this lady's house painting? Does that make sense? Some of you are in that exact same position. And you may not have a service company or be a DIY or a painter, but you just might need to raise your rates on the course that you have for marriage. You may need to start charging people more for your one-on-one consultations on, how they can get their you can start a website for them. I want to make sure you're valuing your time. And I want to make sure you're taking all of your costs into account. Listen, things have gone up in the last couple of years. How many of you know the cost of gas has gone up? The cost of products has gone up. The amount of time it takes you to get things in has gone up, which often results in more money. If you have not raised your rates in the last year, you really need to look at doing that. Just to match inflation. How many of you are here are thinking that you need to raise your rates right now? And I'm going to just hammer in on this just a little bit longer. Okay. There is so much psychology, my friends, that goes into pricing. Because here's what happens instinctively. When you start seeing your sales go down a little bit, or you start feeling a little bit like, oh man, what's going on with this economy? What a lot of times we want to do is decrease our rates. And what happens when we decrease our rates is this. Jen, the online shopper, I'm online. I'm looking for something. I see that you've got a homeschooling class that I'm interested in, even though I don't homeschool. All right. But when I see the price of this homeschooling class, I'm like, wow, okay, that is not very much money at all. And instead of going, amazing, here's what instinctively I think. I wonder why the price on that is so low. Maybe she doesn't know a whole lot about homeschooling. Maybe she's just starting. Maybe this is the first time she's launched a course. Well, if it's the first time she's launched a course, does she know what she's doing? Did she take my Better Way program? Because if she didn't, she probably doesn't know how to launch it right. No, I don't think that. Okay, but maybe I do. Am I even going to get something if I pay for this? Am I going to really get all the resources I need? Do I even need this at all? I probably don't need it at all. I probably need to find somebody else that's more of an expert about homeschooling and take one of their courses. Does that make sense? That's the mental gymnastics I do when I see you price your course or your membership or whatever else for sale. Now, what happens if I see this same cute shirt that people keep messaging me about on Instagram this morning? What happens when I see a cute shirt for sale on a Facebook ad? Okay, so maybe I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, all right, got this. I am looking around Facebook. Ooh, cute shirt. And the cute shirt is a sponsored ad, so I click on it. Okay, so hang on a second. There we go. So I click on it. And then it pulls up the sales page and I see that it's only like $19. And I'm like, $19? And instead of going, yes, let me order one and order one for my mom, here's what I instinctively end up doing. I think to myself, $19. Okay, that is super duper cheap. I wonder if it's like really bad material. It's really bad material. It's probably going to shrink the first time I put it in the dryer. I wonder if it actually just comes from overseas. Well, if it comes from overseas, it might take me 3 months to get it. The last time I ordered something from overseas, I ordered a size large and it came in looking like a little tiny t-shirt that would fit one of my little kids. I probably just shouldn't even order it. You know what? I don't even actually need another shirt. I have plenty of shirts that are just equally as cute. I know it's only $19, but I'm still not going to order it. And then I move on. Can anyone relate to that? So Luann says that sounds like her. Denise says, yeah. So then this is what happens. We start getting nervous about our sales. We start getting nervous about the economy and we decrease our rates. And we think that nobody's going to be thinking that about our stuff. We think we're helping them out because things are hard and we want to make more sales, but they're thinking the same thing about us as what I'm thinking about that, that $19 shirt or that homeschooling program that's way too cheap. Stop doing that. Stop decreasing your rates. Some of you need to increase your rates today. If you went home and you just doubled your rates, first of all, a lot of your clients would not even know. Second of all, if they noticed it, they wouldn't say anything. Third, you'll probably have the same number of buyers, but you're going to make more off the same number of buyers. Does that make sense? Who here knows exactly what I'm talking about? Lance says, I'm like, no, prophetic. We call that prophetic around here. Or you called me a psycho. I'm kidding. Go home and raise your rates. Seriously. I know that you're like, it's so hard. It's actually not that hard. You go home, you log in to your website, whatever, and you raise the rates. It's not that hard. What's hard is how you feel about it. What's hard is what that increase signifies to you. Because some of you are thinking, who the heck do I think I am that I can raise my rates? That's the internal dialogue that you need to address. It's not that the price tag of moving a shirt from $19 to $49 is that hard. It's literally just changing a button on the computer. What's hard is the way you think about that leap. And until you can get real comfortable increasing your rates, you're going to stay stuck at the income that you are. And so Kristen is a bargain hunter. Kristen, I am not. I don't shop for bargains ever. I want quality. And this, by the way, is even when we didn't have money. This is when we were broke too. Okay. I want money and I want ease. And I want it to be super cute. I'm shopping wallpaper today on my Jennifer Allwood home account, and I'm not looking for the best deal ever. I'm not looking for bargains. What I'm looking for is I want to find something I love. I want to get it in a really quick turnaround, and I want the customer service of the company to be really good. I'll pay more for all of that every single day of the week. And I did when I was broke too. So we have to make sure that you're not putting off on your clients the way you're wired, because not everybody is a bargain hunter. And in fact, there are people like me that when I can tell that people are priced way too low, I will instinctively just not buy. I know that sounds terrible, but I won't, because I'm worried about the quality. You call it a bargain. I call it cheap sometimes. And I'm talking about you in particular. Does that make sense? Oh, I'm so glad that other people here. Hi, Catherine Werzer. How are you, honey? I'm so glad that we have other people here who are not bargain hunters. Now, I'm also not ridiculous. You can watch my Instagram stories today, and I'm looking for a dupe on a bed that I personally think is overpriced. It's cute, but I think it's overpriced. And so I think that there's a balance there. But how you feel about your own pricing is the reason why you haven't increased your rates. So, okay, I'm glad that makes sense. Yay. All right. If you have not, like I said, increased your rates in a while, man, you need to do that, because I guarantee you, when you are feeling like your sales are going down, increasing just the average that people spend with you is so helpful. Okay. Point number 4. So 5 ways you can still come out on top are having products at varying price points, some higher ticket items, making sure you're shifting with the trends, adding things in that people want, increasing your current income by increasing your rates. Okay. And number 4, continue investing in your business. Listen, I'm going to tell you some ways that you can save some money. And I'm going to tell you some ways that I don't want you to cut corners. Okay. There are places in every single business where you can cut things out, and places where I never suggest you do. So one of the ways you could cut some expenses right now is I want you all to figure out what monthly subscriptions are you already subscribed to for your business. So if you're on an iPhone, you can go to your settings and into your subscriptions, and you can see everything that you get charged for every month. Do you get charged for software that you're not even doing yet? Do you get charged for, coaching groups that you haven't been in for years? I realized the other day that every year I get charged for Geek Squad, which they come and they service your PCs. And I switched to a Mac a year ago. Why am I still paying for Geek Squad? I don't know. That's a couple $100 a year. Tracy, who works here at Team Allwood, she's in the chat right now. She uses something called Trim or Rocket Money, which yesterday on accident I referred to as Rocket Monkey. I think Rocket Monkey is way more fun, but it's called Rocket Money. It used to be called Truebill. To look at all your bills and your different subscriptions for your business. Cut out some of those things that you're not actually using, the software and the services that maybe you forgot you're even paying for. If you no longer need to be getting some of the products that aren't profitable. If you aren't spending money on things that you know are actually helping. Yeah, right, Luann. You continue to pay for things you don't use sometimes. So go figure out where your expenses, where all the dollars are going to, and cut back on some of those. I am always a huger proponent of just charging more and making more versus cutting. But there's definitely a time and a place. It's being a good steward of your finances to figure out what you're actually spending money on that you don't need to. And so I think that people forget sometimes that they sign up for things and then they just continue to get billed every month. And then they're like, where the heck's all my money? And it's right there. So those are things that I would cut, things that I would keep. If you have a good coach, if you're in a good course that is helping you to grow your business, don't cut that, whether it's me or somebody else. I wouldn't cut the things that are going to give you the ideas and also the strategy to go from where you are to where you want to be. I wouldn't cut that. I also wouldn't cut any employees or any assistants that are adding direct value to your business. That's like a tangible number. Did you know, for those of you that geek out on numbers and things, anybody that you have working for you, you should be getting back 3 to 4 times in revenue their yearly salary. So let's just say you pay somebody $40,000 to do a job for your business every year. Hopefully they're helping you to bring in $160,000. If they are, a part-time person who works in your office, they get paid about 10 grand a year. Hopefully they're helping you bring in about 40,000. Does that make sense? That's kind of just a rule of thumb. Don't cut employees and VAs who are actually helping take things off of your plate and bringing value into the business. Okay. 5th thing, and this is the biggest thing that I personally can help you with. It is adding another revenue stream to your business. Okay. So point number 5 is adding another revenue stream to your business. So I teach 8 ways to make money in the online space. I teach people how to start, plan out, launch a membership, how to do a course, how to do digital products. So things like ebooks, DIY videos, how they do one-on-one coaching and consulting, how to launch physical products out into the world, anything that you can, sell online, how to make money off of putting ads on a blog, how to make money off of partnering with brands, and then how to make money off your social media. Those are 8 ways that I teach in terms of how you can make money in the online space. This is what I can help you with the most. So if you are currently only making money in one way, Leanne says, my head is still spinning from everything I've learned. If you only make money in one way in your business right now, will you put it in the chat below? And there's no shame to you. Okay. No shame. Let me know. Courtney has just one way of making money. That's okay. Who else? Yeah, I'll repeat the 8 here in just 1 second, Denise. Okay, a lot of you only have one way. All right, listen. It is a very dangerous situation when you have all of your eggs into any basket. So if you have been in my coaching group for any amount of time, you'll know that I always say, don't always put your eggs in Facebook's basket. Make sure you're using Facebook or Instagram or both, and then one other social media. Because if your Facebook page gets into trouble and you lose it for some reason, you could lose, your entire income if you're not somewhere else. And then I also say, don't ever put all of your eggs into one basket when it comes to social media. Make sure you have an email list too. Is there anybody here that needs an email list? You don't have one? You've got to have an email list. Because if ever Mark Zuckerberg is like, you know what? I think I've made enough money and I'm out on this action. I think I'm done with social media. Facebook, end. Alexa, end Facebook. No, I'm kidding. If ever Mark Zuckerberg does that, do I think he will? Absolutely not. But if you are only making money on Facebook, you are in big trouble. If you have an Etsy account and that's the only way you make money, you do not have your own website, you could be in big trouble. It's never wise to put all of our eggs into one basket. And I am such a firm believer that whatever God has given you on this side of heaven to steward, whether that is your marriage, whether that is your children, whether that is your business also, that you have to put things in place to protect it, right? We protect our kids, we protect our finances, but we've got to protect our business too. And one way you protect your business is by making sure you have money coming in more than just one way. Well, hey friend, I hope that those 5 things that I talked about on today's podcast really helped you today, and that you can take the steps that you need to and that you want to make sure that your business is recession proof. And if you're a Christian woman who's ready to change your thinking in order to change your life and business, I hope that you know that I have a life coaching program called Reframed Life Coaching. You can go check it out at reframedlifecoaching.com. But it is time to reframe some of your thoughts around the recession, around the interest rates, around business in general. I want to help you get unstuck, and I want to help you be able to shift your thinking so you can shift your life and your business. So if you want to go to reframedlifecoaching.com, just put in your email. We will let you know as soon as the life coaching group is open again. Until next week, bye-bye. Friend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. I'm so honored that you come back for every episode and that you share the Jennifer Allwood Show with your friends and family. Every time I see you guys post about it on Instagram or Facebook or something, it just makes me do a little happy. So thank you. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast if you never want to miss an episode. So you can go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the other podcasting places and subscribe each week so that every week you get the new episode when it releases. So just know that I love bringing you relevant content. I love bringing you great guests. And one of the ways you can help us here at Team Allwood is by leaving the podcast a review. So if you have just a second to do that, would you go over and leave a review for the Jennifer Allwood Show Thank you again. You're amazing. I'm honored to be here. Until next week. Bye-bye.